The city of Hyderabad, India, has become a hotbed of surveillance technology that's only expanded during the COVID-19 pandemic. SQ Masood was heading home when police pulled him over last year. An officer took his photo with a special app, but never said why.
फेशियल रिकग्निशन टेक्नोलॉजी हो या सीसीटीवी कैमरों का जो नेट बिछाया है इन लोगों ने शहर में, ये सारे जो टेक्निकल सॉल्यूशंस जो पुलिस या गवर्नमेंट यूज़ कर रही है, ये बहुत ही मतलब डरावनी होती है आम लोगों के लिए.
An Associated Press investigation found that during the pandemic, law enforcement around the world greatly expanded their surveillance arsenal. Tools to help stop the spread of the virus instead have been repurposed.
This is, for us, something that is unacceptable in a democracy.
When violent clashes erupted between protesters and Israeli police last year at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Israel's domestic security agency took advantage of a tool used for contact tracing to instead target Palestinians in the area. The message sent to their phones: "We will hold you accountable for actions of violence."
The text of the message is definitely on purpose of scare people and let them know that they are being watched, that the big brother is watching them and monitor every step they do.
The Israeli Attorney General defended the tracking technology, calling it a legitimate security tool. In China, QR codes for contact tracing also have been used to limit the movement of some activists and political dissidents. The AP found that the Chinese central government also has worked to link the various health code apps together to expand social control.
作为我们公民的权利之一，我们有一个隐私权，对吧？这是我们的权利之一。那就在这种情况下，谈什么隐私权呀？就没有这些权利了。所以他们可以任意采集你的个人信息。
Even before the pandemic, India had been a global leader in data collection.
Surveillance today is being posed as a technological panacea to these large social problems in India, which has brought us very close to China and is not following the Supreme Court guidelines. There is no law, there are no safeguards.
The Hyderabad police commissioner says technology has lowered some crimes by 90% in less than a decade, and that access to it is strictly controlled.
We need to control crime, we need to have surveillance. We can't let the criminals have a free run.
Masood, who was stopped by police and had his picture taken, has brought a legal case to try and ban the practice.
Being a minority और खुसूसन मुस्लिम होना आज के पॉलिटिकल हालात में बहुत ही डर लगता है इन सब चीज़ों से.
Meanwhile, India continues building what will be among the world's largest facial recognition.
For those who live in a surveillance state, every aspect of their lives is controlled. In Beijing, people are monitored no matter where they go, on the streets, in taxis, and even on the phone. One Beijing citizen told us her story. To protect her identity, we've given her the pseudonym Miss Yang. Miss Yang recently ordered a car via a ride-sharing service similar to Uber. While driving, Miss Yang saw a group of policemen on the street. She mentioned it to the driver. But the driver reminded her not to speak negatively about the police, adding that it's better not to mention the word police at all. That's because everything inside the car would be recorded by video and audio surveillance. All footage is immediately sent to the authorities, who can use software to help them to identify sensitive words in improper speech. But what's considered improper speech? The driver told Ms. Young that it refers to scolding people with dirty words, bad comments about leaders of the Chinese Communist Party, and information about the virus epidemic that doesn't fit into China's official narrative. So what happens if the customer or driver crosses the line? The driver said he would receive a warning message from the authorities. Even the choice to wear a face mask or not can be a problem. The driver told Ms. Young that she was alone in the car the other day without a mask. Then she got a message from the authorities reminding her that she must wear a mask. But where are the cameras and audio recorders located inside the car? The driver told Ms. Young that the driver's cell phone is used. It's a simple system. When a customer uses a ride-sharing app to get in contact with a driver, both of them have to accept many terms and regulations, including video and audio recording. If they refuse, they won't be granted access to the software. For months, medical teams from all over China traveled to Wuhan to offer their help. Moving stories about these people have been widely spread by Chinese media. The health workers put their lives at risk to help others. But at the same time, the Chinese Communist Party is using them to divert people's attention away from the regime's mishandling of the pandemic. CCP propaganda department urged official media outlets to produce warm news with positive energy. They then began to produce pandemic frontline heroic stories and stories of CCP's powerful execution. Here's one such case who was made into a figure in their propaganda stories. She shared her story with Europe-based magazine Bitter Winter. She was sent to Wuhan from another place for support as a medical staff. It's been 2 months since she came back, but still she has no peace. Monitored by government staff, she is busy telling her stories in Wuhan to designated media outlets, promoting positive energy. Her articles are later revised by propaganda personnel to publicize the party's achievements. Plus, she has been put to talk in endless meetings for the same purpose. Late January, her hospital ordered her to support Wuhan. She had to agree to avoid punishment. And the hospital leader made her say in media interviews she was going voluntarily. If I refuse, I will be punished and I will no longer be able to get promotions or raise. In Wuhan, she witnessed insufficient supplies, poor quality PPEs, death tolls were covered up. But she is not allowed to talk about them, even with her family, because these are considered negative energy. She said, once you do, you will be charged for leaking state secrets. She concludes our futures are in the hands of the government. We can only do as the CCP says to secure our
So basically, you cannot get into the Whole Foods market in Washington, D.C. unless you scan your own QR code and they track everything you're doing. And this is the future of all grocery stores. So if you want more information on this, I'll get it to you, but this is the future of all grocery stores. I mean, I'm gonna have to boycott Whole Foods.
Month or so. How about this one? People counting. You want to take a deep dive into your dystopian future under the digital surveillance state. It's right here. This little board here tells you how many times people have come through the park. Essentially, it tells you how many unconnected Wi-Fi devices there are in. So that would be everyone's phone. This is telling you how many people are in the park at the moment. So once again, imagine a lockdown scenario, another emergency, another COVID outbreak or monkeypox or, whatever you like, you name it, we'll make it up. 6 devices in this park at the moment. That's down 50% for normal. Your local government, your state government, your federal government might want it to be none. And this will tell you, these sensors up in this light, the Wi-Fi connections, they're all interlocked. There will be facial recognition cameras in there. So, don't think you're just going to leave your phone at home. The cameras will pick you up in future. All seems very innocuous, but the reality here is what we are seeing is the very real and very, very, in my view, concerning future for how we go. These areas are all going to be geofenced, and there's going to be more data about you out there and what you do per day. And I hear people saying, I've got no problem with any of this, I don't do anything wrong. Well, that all depends on whether or not your government has the same viewpoint as you. And we've seen this played out in the last 18 months through the COVID period. I've got to tell you, I don't like this at all. Looks pretty innocuous, but to me, there's a bigger, badder future that comes with it. Make sure you're thinking about this, make sure you're talking to your friends about it, and make sure you're telling your politicians that you don't want a social credit style system like currently rolling out over in China with the CCP. We don't want to go anywhere near this. I have a bad feeling this is where we're heading.